Welcome back. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about the solution of chapter number 3, that is plotting with PyPlot of IP grade 12. And we all know that PyPlot is basically a module of Python. We are actually talking about the type A, that is short question and answers in this particular video, and most probably we are going to cover this chapter in maybe 2 or 3 different videos. So this is part number 1. नमस्ते स्टूडेंट, दिस इज संजय एंड वेलकम बैक टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल टेक टिप नाउ। चलिए सीखते हैं और सीखने के साथ साथ समझते भी हैं। बट बिफोर दैट आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट यू दैट प्लीज सब्सक्राइब माय चैनल इफ यू हैवंट येट, एंड if you really like this video then please don't forget to like and share it as well. So let's move directly to the question number 1 now. Name the library of which the PyPlot is an interface. So now we all know that there is a library known as matplotlib which we use for using this PyPlot. This PyPlot is basically what it is, a module which is available in this particular library in Python programming, and we also know that that is basically used for visualizing the data. Now what is the meaning of this visualizing data is presenting your data in pictorial format, or you can say graphical format, to analyze data in different manners. So that is what the library name. Next question is saying that write the statement to import PyPlot in your script. Now we all know that we can take the help of this import keyword. Now you see here we have written how can we include it. So we take import matplotlib then dot pyplot. Now we know that this PyPlot is a module which is available in this matplotlib library. So that's why what we do, we just make sure that this is part of this particular library matplotlib. That's why we use this dot here. And we can also call this PyPlot in our programming as an object. Like you can see we have written import matplotlib.pyplot as PL. Now here what is this PL actually? As I said, it is basically an object, and we all know that if there is a class we can take its object to use the features of that class, because Python is basically object oriented programming language. So whichever feature you use in it are basically available in form of the class. So PyPlot is basically what it is, a class, and you can take its object as well. That's why we can import in this way also. What happens when you take object of this PyPlot class, then you have to then call every command using this object name. Say for example I want to make a line chart, so we can simply write pl.plot, and there I can write A and B and so on. So this is the way we can import PyPlot in our script. Move to the next question now. Now here it is saying that write function to create followings. There are various different types of chart we can make using PyPlot. So what are the functions we can use? So first it is saying about or asking about line chart. So we can use plot function, and we can use for bar chart we can use simply bar. Horizontal bar, for that we use this bar h. For histogram we use this hist function, and scatter chart, for that we can use scatter function, and for box plot we can simply take it to as its names, and for pie chart we can use this pie, right? So this is how we can call these functions, and we all know that if this pie is my object of PyPlot module, or you can say class, so we have to include this object name with our function like PyPlot, and then whatever argument you are passing here. So this is how we can understand what are the functions we can use for different charts. Move to the next question now. Now first of all it is saying that what is a line chart? As per its definition, what we have written here is line chart is a type of chart which display information as a series of data points using straight lines. It is basically used to visualize change in data over a period of time. It is the main point. Why we use line chart? To view the changes in data over a period of time. And we all know that we can use this plot function with PyPlot to use or to create this line chart. We all know that when we plot a particular graph in this way, so this is what our line chart. And here when you take the points like say for example this is A, this is B, and suppose this is C, and there are some values like this. So when you plot some point for A, then for point for B, and similarly for C, so these points are basically connected with the lines. That's why it is called what your line chart. Now the question is that why we use this line chart. So we all know that with the help of line chart we can easily visualize that how the progress of our record is, or we can say how the performance of our organization is. So to view the performance, basically we can use this line charts. When we talk about the scatter chart, scattered chart is also very much similar to line chart. Basically it is mostly used in financial services. So what happens, instead of taking line, we put the points in this way. It is similar to line chart except that data points are plotted to show the trends in a data. So let's move to the next question now. It is asking that what is pie chart. Now we all know that pie chart is basically used to illustrate numeric properties of individual data points as slices of circle. Now first of all, we all know that when you make this kind of chart, that is basically known as what? Pie chart. Now what is of this pie chart actually? First of all, remember that it is only made for one data series. Now what do you mean by this data series actually? Say like there are two bikes I am selling. Say one is your Honda, one is my Suzuki, and I have some selling data for different months. Say for example January, February, March and all, like 40, 60, 70, 30 and whatever the numbers are. So you can make series for this Honda separately and for Suzuki separately. But if you are using pie chart, so there you cannot present both the series at a time, but that can be taken in other charts like line chart. You can take series of Honda then series of Suzuki. But that is not possible in pie chart because it is all about displaying the proportionate contribution of every individual on a whole, on a group, you can say. Now what is bar chart actually? So we all know that bar chart is a chart or graph where data points are presented as a rectangular bars. It is basically used to compare data items. So the purpose is here, it is basically used for data comparisons, and this kind of charts are basically known as what? Your bar charts. They are vertical bars and you can take in this way as well. So the purpose, as I said, or as it is written here, is for comparing data items. When you look at bar chart, you can immediately tell anyone that this particular bar has the longest height. So it means that this will be the maximum. And this is the smallest highest. So you can say this will be the lowest or minimum value. So you can compare them easily. Now it can be plotted vertically or horizontally, as I said, so we can use this bar and bar h function with pie plot to use it. Let's move to the next question now. Now what is histogram actually? So as its definition I have written, it is saying that a histogram is a type of chart used to represent numeric data by showing the number of data points that fall within a specified range of value. And it is similar to a vertical bar graph except that it shows no gap between the bars. Let's try to understand it with an example. Now suppose that I have a table where I have data like so now you can see I have range of values here, and here these are the number of students, right? Here we don't have any categories, but we can take this value or range of values as category. So what can we do? If we convert this chart into column chart, then you will see this will be like this, and you will see the range will be like 0 to 10, then 10 to 20 and so on. But instead of that, if we present that data in form of say histogram, so what happens? Same bars we take there, but we see there is no gap between these bars. So this is what your histogram. And basically, as I said, in column chart we generally take individual data, not range of data as category. But when we have range of data, then we always prefer to use what? Histogram. So this is what the histogram actually. Now the next question is, what is box plot actually? A box plot is a standardized way to present the data based on 5-number summary, which consists of a minimum range, maximum range, upper quartile, lower quartile and your median. So basically you would have seen that this kind of graph when we make, where this is my median value, this is my the minimum value, this is my maximum value, this is my lower quartile and this is my upper quartile. So this is how we can use this box plot to represent data in 5 different terms or different manners together in one place. So this is your box plot actually. Let's move to the next question. What is frequency polygon actually? See, basically it is enhanced version of histogram, we can say. A frequency polygon is a graph constructed by using the line to join the midpoint of each interval. The height of the point represents the frequency. Frequency polygon make it easy to compare two or more sets of data. Suppose you have two or more than that data series in your chart. So there, instead of taking histogram, if we take polygon, or we can say frequency polygon, it becomes very easy for us to compare those data sets. So let's try to understand this frequency polygon with an example. So here what I do, I make one histogram like this. Now you see, this is my one histogram where I have taken range of 0 to 10, 10 to 20 and so on. Now when we talk about the frequency polygon, what we do, we take the midpoint of the given range, like this is 0 to 10 bar. So here this will be my midpoint. Similarly for 10 to 20 bar, this will be my midpoint, and similarly for all these we have this midpoint. Now what we do, we just try to combine these midpoints like this. But the question is that which will be my beginning point and which will be my ending point. So what we do, you can see here we have taken one more extra point at the beginning and at the ending as well. So we take their midpoint as well, and then we just end it like this, and we just take here also. This will be my starting point. So this is how you can understand this is my polygon. So if you remove this histogram, you will get this polygon. So now the next question is name the function to label the axis. So we can use two functions. One is your x label and second is your y label. This should be actually small y. This is for x axis and this is for y axis. First of all, we all know that when we talk about labels, suppose you have a chart like this. So you see here it is written say month, and here it is written say for sale. So this is my y-axis label and this is my x-axis label. They are also known as category axis label and value axis label. To set the label of chart like this, we can use, or we can take the help of this x label and y label. So when you take this x label, this will become, and if you take this y label, so you can take or display this value axis label, right? Let's move to the next question now. Now here it is saying that name the function to give the title to a plot. So you can see we can use this title function for this, and obviously it is part of this pyplot module. Here I have written this matplotlib.pyplot. So instead of that, you can take this py as an object of this pyplot, and then you can join this py.title. So the question is, what do you mean by this title? So we always see when you create a chart, at the top of the chart you see one title is written. So that title can be taken with the help of this title string, or you can title function. Next is saying that name the function to set the figure size of a plot. So we can take the help of this figure function, where we take two arguments for this fixed size. One is your width and one is your length. So obviously when you make a chart, you determine what could be the length and what could be the height. So that can be set with the help of this figure function. Then there we said we use this fixed size argument, right? And the next one is what your name the function to set the limit of an axis. Limit is what basically say when you make a chart for the x-axis, what would be the minimum value and what would be the maximum value, that we can set with the help of this xmax and xmin, obviously with the help of this .xlim function. And similarly, what would be the smallest value for this y-axis and the highest value for the y-axis, that can be decided with the help of this .ylim function. And there we also take two arguments like ymin and ymax, right? So if you take it to say 0 and 80, and here you take 0 and say 50, so this will be like 0, then it will be 80, and here it will be 50. So this is how we can take it. Let's move to the next question now. Name the function to show the legend on the plot. Now suppose that you have a chart like this. So now you see here there are two different data series. One is of blue line and one is of red line. And at the bottom of chart you find that the detail of that blue line and the red line is given. So this is called what, your legend. To show the legend on the plot, we can use this legend function. You can see here it is written, and we can define its location like upper left, upper right, etc. Now the next question is, name the function to add ticks on the end. Now what do you mean by this ticks actually? Say when you put values, so you get some ticks there. So these are the ticks that you can set with the help of this xticks function and yticks function, right? So this is how we can understand the answers of the given questions. So now I hope it will really help you to learn this chapter. So that's it for this session, and we'll talk about other questions of this same chapter in the next video. So till then, bye bye. Keep practicing, keep learning, and take care of yourself. Thank you very much for watching this video.